I figured you could use a light story, and this is the funniest, dumbest church scandal I have seen in such a long time, and it makes me happy because it's just that dumb. Okay, here's the deal. It involves this Texas megachurch called the Lakepointe Church. It's Lakepointe with an E at the end, like ye old shoppy. So Lakepointe Church, it's one of those mega churches that has a bunch of campuses around the cities. And in the city of Rockwall, they have a campus. And what they want to do, this is like just outside Dallas, I believe. That campus gets really busy on Sunday mornings. And if they have like a weeknight service, it gets really packed. And so they want to put a stoplight outside the entrance to that particular campus. And okay, that kind of makes sense. If there's a lot of traffic, you might want a stoplight there. But here's the thing, like, a church doesn't just get to put up a stoplight, they have to ask the city for permission. And then the city says, okay, well, we need to know the numbers, how much traffic is going through here. And someone's going to pay for a study to be done. Because, of course, why would you spend a lot of money on a stoplight when, like, you could just put up a much cheaper stop sign, right? So, like, if the city's going to go through with putting a stoplight up there, they want to know that it's worth their time. But the church wants it. And so they said, we're going to commission this study. We're going to work with the city to make this happen. This is not about church state separation. All of this is fine. So we're good. They're going to put up money for the study. We're all good. I think there's also a selfish reason that this church wants that stoplight at that intersection, because if some of you live near a megachurch, you may have noticed that when they have services, there are actual cops who are directing traffic in that area. I have one of those near where I am. And the thing is, those cops do not come for free. Any outside group, including religious groups, they have to pay those cops to, like, basically rent them out because there's heavy traffic and, like, a lot of busy intersections and stuff. And so if you're going to pull off an event like that, you have to hire security. You have to hire cops to direct that traffic. And right now, this mega church, Lakepointe, they have to direct traffic around that entrance. They don't want to pay the cops for that. So they also want the stoplight for that reason. So they can have the stoplight and they don't have to pay the cops anymore. That's my theory anyway as to why they want it. But again, all they have to do, they commission the study, they go to the city, they say, look, lots of traffic, give us a stoplight. And they even said they'll pay for it. Okay, fine. All of that is good. But this is a Christian megachurch we are talking about. Do you think they're interested in just doing what they're supposed to do when they could manipulate the truth to get exactly what they want? I mean, this is a megachurch. This is what they do best. They will always lie if it's in their best interests. And this story comes from Religion News Service. Their excellent reporter, Bob Smetana, he got a copy of emails that were sent from the church to a lot of church leaders. And you will not believe this. Let me share this with you. This is the email that was sent from Lakepointe Church. Let's read this together, shall we? This was sent to the leaders of their small groups, like their small worship groups, because there's so many people at their services, they can't get to know everyone. So they have small groups and you meet and you worship that way. Fine. So they sent this email to every life group leader. And they said, we want you all to tell your little small groups to do the following, okay? Calling all life groups. In an effort to ease traffic, better serve our city, and provide a better experience for everyone attending our church, we need your help to get a traffic light at the entrance. Check this out. Life groups can help by signing up for shifts on those dates, May 14th through the 19th. Everyone in the life group can sign up for as many shifts as they would like across the week, maximum 1 shift per hour. Each shift is a commitment to drive the prescribed route 10 times within that hour shift. Let's pause here for just a moment. What they are saying is, hey, we all want a stoplight in this particular intersection, so we want all of you to drive your cars in circles around that area, and not just do that, but like sign up for time slots so there's constant traffic around where we want our stoplight. And you could sign up for as many shifts as you want. And look at this. Each shift is a commitment to drive 10 times within that hour. It's great if you make more than 10 laps, but laps are only counted toward that specific shift. There's no rolling over here. You better do 10 laps in an hour. Drive faster, grandma. And they literally had a link to Sign Up Genius so people could sign up to take slots to drive. And they said, don't worry, we'll get you the route you have to drive. It's a circle. It's not that hard on this Monday. And then what does it say? Once you've signed up and you're ready, begin your shift. What does the rest of this say? It is essential you keep your commitment within the hour you sign up for. If we miss one block of time, we miss the entire exercise. This is the email the church sent out to their small group leaders. Yikes. And by the way, I was able to get a copy of that Sign Up Genius, some screenshots from that sign up link. And this is interesting too, because check this out on Sign Up Genius. Like they sent this out, people started signing up fast. And this one's interesting because Nicholas Costello, if I have this right, he's the pastor of that Rockwell campus church. Like, he's not some random dude. He's the pastor saying, like, yep, I'm going to drive my SUV in a giant circle. I got nothing better to do. So people are signing up to do this, okay? So this is what the church planned to do. They were trying to goose up the traffic numbers while their own engineering firm that they hired, supposedly an outside engineering firm, was tallying data about how much traffic there is. They were trying to boost those numbers so that they could lie, so that those numbers would look higher, so that they could go to the city and say, there's so much traffic, we need the traffic light, give us a traffic light. Like, oh my God, it's not just shady, it's just dumb. Like, if you don't have that much traffic, you don't need the stoplight. So, of course, that email to the church and those screenshots, they started leaking to the public, and that's when all shit hit the fan. I know one of you is saying this. I'm going to pull this up right now. Wouldn't that be bearing false witness? My silly friend. No, it doesn't count as a lie if you do it in the name of Jesus. Haven't I taught you anything? So it turns out after their little scam got revealed, the city said, we're not going to use the traffic counts that your engineering firm is about to give us. City said, we're not taking this data. It doesn't count. So good on them. They're not listening to the church. Good. Second thing is the church leaders, they all denied responsibility. They're all like, what? I didn't send out an email. I would never do this. And I also appreciated that on Reddit and on private Facebook groups, a lot of former members of this church were like gloating and taking victory laps because they're like, I told you this place was shady. Okay, this is from Bob Smetana's Religion News Service article. Let me share this with you. Church leaders told Religion News Service that the sign-up was an unfortunate decision made by a staff member. Which staff member? I don't know. They won't say. But it was totally one rogue employee who sent out that perfectly toned email with links already created. Yeah, it was just one dude. The decision was made without knowledge by senior executive leadership at Lakepointe, and the sign-up list was immediately taken down as we were made aware of what occurred, said Tim Smith, senior executive pastor. We immediately apologized to our city leaders who made the decision to postpone the traffic count. We're in the process of reaching out to all the leaders who received the sign-up and are apologizing to them as well. And as that article says, like a second later, okay, but if it was a mistake from a rogue staffer, why did the pastor of that campus sign up to take a route? Huh? Come on. You guys were in on this. Just say it. That's like Pope Francis saying, oh, sexual abuse in my church? Well, I didn't know anything about it. So, like, stop blaming the Catholic Church. Like, buddy, it happened in your house. It was a bishop somewhere. It was a diocese. Why don't you go take care of it? Um, just a dumb scandal. By the way, it wasn't just the pastor of that campus. Another church leader named Ty Daughtry was also signed up. Like, I don't know who that guy is for the church, but he has a church specific email address. Okay. So when a copy of all this stuff, when this story leaked to a Facebook group that is a private Facebook group for like the city of Rockwall or something, um, one of the people who chimed in was a guy named Chris Berkeley, whose title at Lakepointe Church is lead pastor of creative. Creative what? I don't know. His title is lead pastor of creative. And he wanted everyone to know this is the work of some zealous team member, some rogue staffer, which to be fair is pretty creative. Let me show you what he posted on this Facebook page, which I also got a copy of. As you may have recently heard, I don't care. He's talking about the traffic. Yeah. We want to help Rockwall. We needed to study the traffic. Yeah. A zealous team member made the decision to attempt to sign up people to positively impact the count. That decision was made without knowledge by top leadership and was taken down as soon as it became apparent. This was actually the second attempt at the study as road construction inhibited the first study. I don't know why he said that. Like, yeah, the first one didn't work out because of construction, so we had to lie, everybody. It was the second time. We don't have that many chances left. As well, a few vocal critics of Lakepointe were notified of the study and the sign-up list and immediately began to contact Rockwall city officials who understandably made the decision to postpone the traffic count. Like, yeah, they did. Good job, former Lakepointe members, for like, that's not tattling. That's informing the public about how they're being cheated. Like, good for the former members. We love our city and have so much respect for our leaders. We will continue to work with the city to make traffic around Lakepointe as safe as possible. And that's really an appalling thing to say, in part because if you're asking a ton of people to drive in laps around a road just to juice up traffic numbers, you're making it more likely that an accident is going to happen. He didn't address any of that. They obviously do not care about the environmental impact of putting a bunch of cars on the road for no reason. And you know, they're like all SUVs. He also didn't seem to care that this church is literally asking people to waste their time by driving in circles just to do this in hourly shifts, no less. Like when your cult asks you, hey, I need you to take time out of your day. Don't go to work. I need you to sign up for a time slot and then just drive in circles for no reason. Don't worry about it. Move faster, grandma. But drive. Why? Because we're collecting data and this is how science works. Like just a shady place. All they had to do was nothing. Pony up the cash, pay the engineering firm, get accurate numbers, and let the chips fall where they may. If you need a traffic light there, the city will give it to you. If you don't, then you don't get it. Who cares? It's not the end of the world. You're making enough money. You'll be fine paying the police officers. You know what I mean? I think one of the funniest things about this whole story is that this is not even the first unforced error by the church in a matter of months. Because I talked about this church like a month ago for a very different reason. Because you may recall about a month ago, the lead pastor at Lakepointe, his name is Josh Howerton, he made news because he told a joke about how women need to obey their husbands sexually on their wedding nights. The punchline of his stupid joke was just stand where he tells you to stand, wear what he tells you to wear, and do what he tells you to do, ladies. Like, that's what his punchline was. And that joke was bad enough because it just downplayed sexual abuse within marriage and all of that. Like, a woman should just listen to her husband, and they're apparently the husband knows what he wants in the bedroom, even though they're both supposed to be virgins. It's a long story. Go watch that video. I did it a month ago. But I did not talk about this. After he made that stupid joke, like the following week, he apologized to the congregation. And guess what? He made news again because guess why? Another unforced error. Megachurch pastor responds to accusation he plagiarized his apology for the joke about the wedding nights. This dude plagiarized his apology, and people were like, wait a minute, another pastor said the exact same thing like a month ago because he told a crass joke about breast milk. And then this dude took the same apology for the joke that wasn't funny. Like, oh, do any of these people do anything that's like on the moral high ground? Is everything just the worst option available every single time? My point is, this church has a habit of taking the dishonest path every single time, then never taking responsibility for it. Also, they can tell their sheep how everyone else is immoral because they don't have Jesus in their lives. Like, honesty apparently would work against their best interests, so they're just going to lie. And then when they get caught, they're like, it wasn't us, it was a staffer. Oh, really? What's that staffer's name? What are you going to do? Are you punishing that staffer in any way? Shut up. Like, they're not going to answer that. They're just upset they got caught. I love this scandal. It's so low stakes, so unnecessary, and yet they went full speed ahead with it. All right, let's talk some questions here. All right. I don't think there are any questions. None. One question, maybe. What kind of shady crap is this driving scheme? Gotta love church morals. I mean, if this is what they're teaching from the top down, it does make you wonder what sort of Christians are they trying to build up here? It doesn't look good. Anything else, Den? Oh, that email seems to be of questionable legality. That's a good question. I don't know that anyone's doing anything. If I don't know if this crosses some line, I don't I don't know the answer to that, but just purely on the ethics, it's just a dumb idea. It makes them look really bad. One person is pointing this out. I want to point this out too. All sermons are recycled. There is actually a very big problem among megachurch preachers that a lot of them plagiarize sermons, and it's easy to catch them when they're doing it too, which is weird because they have one job. Like, you have a full week to write a sermon. I'm not saying it's easy, but like, if you can't do it, maybe stop having a gazillion services and you don't need all the churches. Like, you just don't do that. You're not good at your job. Just admit it and move on. I missed the beginning. If there isn't traffic, why do they need a light? The short answer is they say there is a lot of traffic when they have church services. And also, right now, they got to pay the police to direct that traffic. And I don't think they want to do that. So that's why they want a stoplight to prevent all of that. Of course, they could have used the time to work and earn the money to pay for the light. Anyway, why didn't God give them the light? Well, I hate to tell you the answer to this. I don't think they're going to like my answer to this. But I mean, look, the city still has to approve it. That's why they were doing it. But it is telling that, like, what is the church asking their members to do? It's not, hey, let's go volunteer at a food shelter. Here's your sign up genius link. Go sign up for a time slot. It's, hey, we need you to drive in a circle and waste your time so we could stop paying the cops. Like, that's a weird thing for a mega church to be doing, or any church to be doing, any group to be doing.